Mm.
So do you want to move it quick?
We're live. Let's just
We're live. We're live.
We'll just bring us a bit closer.
Guys, we just want to get closer to you right now. So
we're just sort of working this out as we go on the job.
There we go.
It's a bit better.
The lighting worked well as
What
well.
we got?
Well, you got a solid 12 at the start here.
I don't know why this chat's not working, but anyway.
Bear with us, guys, while we just get our bearings.
We are technically not as gifted as everybody else in this space. We're newbies.
I have no idea what we're doing. We've got a ring light, though.
We've got a ring light. We're quite organised in that sense. But let's talk about today. I think another solid performance from Jumbo Visma. Bastille Day. That's a good one. What else did we see today? G's riding solid.
G's go.
Vingegaard solid.
Sepp Kuss was breathing through his nose.
Sepp Kuss wasn't even battling. Today is there.
Yeah.
So
tomorrow he'll be there.
Tomorrow
he'll be there tomorrow.
So he's going. He had a bad day yesterday for himself. For me, that would have been a good day. Really good day. Froome coming back today, riding solidly. And what else we want to discuss?
Spectators of old. Crowds of old. Alpe d'Huez back to what it used to be.
Exactly. So we've got a heap of stuff to get through today.
And send some comments through as well if you guys have got any questions or comments.
Yeah.
They can do that, can't they?
They can. Guys, it says you're unable to connect to the chat. I actually have no idea what's going on now. Anyway, maybe reach out to us on social media, Instagram, Sam Bewley or Daryl MP, and we'll check it out as we go.
We'll keep it on.
Anyway, so we'll talk. Start of the race. We get the breakaway going. To get in the breakaway in the Tour de France these days, everyone just thinks, you just get in the breakaway. You just jump across. Why weren't you there? You got all the teams there. Everybody wanting to be in the front. Team director saying, we don't want to miss the break today. Today's a chance. It could go to the line. We got to get our climbers in the break. How do we do that? You got to use your flat guys. You can lose any guys you got, right?
But you can only use so many guys on a day like today because effectively they started straight away uphill.
Yeah,
they had a small period on the flat and they had Galibier, straight up Galibier, and the break. And we were out training, so we didn't see the formation of the break, but we were following as best we could on pro cycling stats and things. And we saw that at the top of the Galibier, they only had a small gap, which says to me that the break was still forming all the way up Galibier.
Yeah.
At that point, you can't use your flat. You can't use your flat guys to help you get in the break.
Well, if you're a flat guy, you also don't want to be doing that before the Galibier, do you? You're just trying to go in survival mode. That's what a lot of people don't get. Is like you're actually thinking. At what point do you start thinking about yourself a little bit? Like, listen, I want to be a good teammate. I want to help so and so get in the break, but it could be to my detriment today, and I could have the worst day of my life, and I could be chasing all day.
I start thinking about it probably, I don't know, the night before.
I thought you were going to say 5Ks before. It was like 5K before.
I started looking at the course map, and I was thinking, okay, I want to help my guys get in the break, but at the end of the day, when you're a flatlander like I am more than you, you would have had a chance of making a break on a stage like today.
Not winning, but I could.
No, but you maybe could have made the break.
Yeah,
I couldn't have. But you want to help guys get in the breakaway. So you can't actually be silly about it when you're somebody like me. You've got to, or in the situation of let's say Pidcock, Rowie or Ghana. Are these the guys trying to help get Pidcock in the breakaway? Probably because Yates is not. G's not.
No.
Martinez is crook. But ultimately, they're trying to still save him. Hopefully, he has a good day and he's still there on Alpe d'Huez, which he wasn't. But so you actually have to look at it quite in depth because you're actually not helping anybody if you put yourself on the red line before the break's gone. No. You've got to be quite selective about when you do it. So, it's at the end of the day, to make a breakaway like today, you've got to just be strong. Man.
You've got to have the legs.
Oh, you saw who was in it.
Yeah.
You saw who was in the breakaway. It wasn't a big breakaway.
Which tells you guys are tired too.
Yeah, and that was hard. And the 5 guys that went into Alpe d'Huez together, like those guys have all been. One of them's won the Tour de France 4 times.
Yeah. Who is he?
The Kenyan bloke.
Kenyan guy.
And then there's Pidcock. Obviously, he's only 11 minutes down. Mankey's he's been top 10 in the Tour de France before. Ciccone, he's won the mountains jersey at the Tour de France before. Paulus, who's been close to the bloody yellow jersey earlier in the race. Top climbers.
Yeah, and that's why the gap gets so big. But then you've got Jumbo just like hugely in control. never going to lose the race. They even forced a pace later in the race.
Yeah.
Like it was almost like, okay, we've stopped mucking about today. That break's going to go to the line, probably. Maybe not, because they started riding and the gap came down quickly. And I thought, oh,
But would you not, if you were Jumbo, wouldn't you be? I was watching.
more
and I thought,
conservative.
but also like let the breakaway win every single day now.
Yeah.
Because Pogačar is going to. He had a bad day, and his team said in the media today he's got no COVID symptoms. He's not positive for COVID. It's like that had been thrown around. Has he got has it caught up to him? Hasn't. But every single time that the GC guys race for the victory, Pogačar is going to win the stage potentially.
Yeah.
10 seconds there. All of a sudden, you give him three stage wins. Even if he finishes the same time as Vingegaard, he takes 30 seconds back just from bonuses.
Yeah.
So you let the breakaways win.
For sure.
Like
The time bonuses and all those things, at the end of this race, we've seen the Tour de France being won these days probably by lesser margins. Like, maybe it used to be like, okay, maybe last year, today took heaps of time out of everybody. But like now it's so close. Vingegaard is just climbing like on par, or was like, some days better, or they're so close between those two. Now it's like, I mean, today you saw Tadej going for it and straight on the wheel.
Yeah.
Straight on the wheel.
There's no easy to get rid of him. And I think the way that Jumbo rode today is the way that Jumbo has to ride now. They obviously, with Pogačar being in the jersey for the better part of the race up until yesterday, then Jumbo had one card to play, and they only had one day to do it, where Roglic was still going to be close enough on GC to be a threat. And to use the strength of the team. Yesterday was the day they chose to do it, and they did it with great success.
Yeah.
Obviously, they put.
But they also played for it. Like it was yesterday, they could lose everything or gain everything.
Yeah.
And you rarely find a team these days actually doing that. Like Ineos is super calculated.
Yeah.
You're never really seeing them now throw down the gauntlet like bang, we don't care. They like to keep guys there. Whereas Jumbo yesterday, again, ripping up the script. Like cycling doesn't have a script anymore.
No.
And that's like when you turn on the TV at a 50k to go and you see 4 guys left, you go, four of the best guys here, and they just left. And now what are we left with?
Yeah.
Like, how are they going to make this happen? And you watch the race unfold, and then you see like a team time trial up the hill yesterday, nearly. It's crazy. Like Jumbo's all over it.
And you saw the way they rode today is the way they have to ride for the rest of this tour now.
Yeah.
Like it's they've got the yellow. Their tactic worked. Now they've got the yellow jersey. Now they have to ride a defensive Tour de France in some ways. And they can, because Vingegaard has enough time.
Yeah.
Now, like at the end of the day, if Vingegaard just finishes on the same time as Pogačar every single day for the rest of this Tour de France, there's only a time trial left that Pogačar, he's not going to take 2 minutes out of him or 3 minutes out of him.
No, not the way he's time trialing at the moment. So
all they have to do is ride defensively, which can sometimes be, as the old saying goes, sometimes offense is the best form of defense.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be a day where Vingegaard, if he's feeling good, he's going to attack again.
But what about the other guys now? We're talking about someone who's like hiding behind these guys. I know we're seeing a lot of the times, and we see the 2 guys clip off the front, but then you got G who's just like, he's not dropping.
No.
At not one point do I see G in this race going, he's out of it, he's dropping, he's just riding at his pace. And his pace is good enough. His pace is there. He's alert. He's always watching the right guys. He's not overextending himself. He's like kind of just quietly there. And you go like, 2-3 minutes. Can he win the Tour de France? Well, there's a time trial coming.
I'd love to.
I would love to see him podium.
Yeah.
I think podium is realistic, but man, the way these guys are racing each other, if Tadej goes flat out and Vingegaard goes, I've got to chase him, and you never know. Like the other day, it was almost like whoever had the legs at the end was making the difference. And that was down to, like, if you didn't eat properly or you got overexcited or something happened and you had a bazzer, you lost 3 minutes.
You stayed cool.
If you stayed cool and you did everything right, like G and like Vingegaard did, you make the difference like that. So there can be mistakes that can still happen, but it'd be hard to.
And and I love the fact that G's there, because, you and I were a couple of old bastards sitting on this couch talking about the Tour de France.
I turned pro and G was there, wild. So
and we're talking about these 2, guys who are under 23 years of age, who are ripping the script up, like you say. But G's there. He's a 35, 36-year-old dude. He's got so much experience. He's won the Tour de France, as everybody knows. Maybe he's sticking to the script a little bit more,
Well,
and maybe that's the right play. if these two guys are going to be going hammer and tongs at each other for the next 10 days, and like you say, G's not really dropping, maybe whatever, he's not going to the dangerous point of a potential explosion as much as those guys are.
No.
But at the same time, like, I'd love to know, do you think G is thinking about winning the Tour de France, or do you think G is thinking about finishing third in the Tour de France?
I think realistically he knows that the guys are stronger than him, but I think he still has the hope that one day there could be a bad day for these guys, and he could take it on himself. You know, he's a guy that if there's a guy who can rise to the occasion. If the guy that lives for the big moment, that's Geraint Thomas. And there's also then let's go into other stuff. I mean, there you have Froome reignited today. Nobody would have called that.
No.
Anyone in this Tour de France.
Mate, I thought he was going to win.
Like at one stage, I was like, okay, he's battling now and he's struggling. That's probably about right. And then he's just carrying on, clawing his way back and just not giving up. He's resilient. I think there's another guy that can rise to the occasion, gets a sniff of there's a little bit of a success that could happen from this day. He's out climbing Powless, who's in form. Yeah. He's like a guy, he got away in the breakaway. The break had already gone. He'd got away. Pidcock rode across him on the downhill, and they worked together and got there. But ultimately, it was a big day. He wasn't sitting on. He wasn't hiding. Did his fair share of the work. Watching the whole race, he worked just as hard as all those other guys. And then he's back. So, like, do you think this now gives him the confidence now? And I reckon it does.
For sure.
In the next couple of stages, he goes, man, I finished third in the mountain stage, in the hardest, like one of the hardest stages in the Tour de France, from a breakaway, with a pretty good breakaway field, dropped a lot of good guys. Now, are we going to see a different Froome? Is it going to be like, because he'll get that now.
Yeah.
Like, he's been fighting for it. He's been working hard.
And I thought today, even on that, when Pidcock attacked, like 10.5K to go, that's Alpe d'Huez, like, that's 30 minutes, 35 minutes of climbing.
Yeah.
And Froome was just there at like 10, 15 seconds for a number of Ks. And like, even when he was winning the Tour de France, you've seen him in that position. Like, everyone knows Froome, looking at his computer, looking at his computer. No, he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly how hard he can ride from bottom to the top. And he knows that if he rides that wattage from the bottom to the top, nobody else can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, obviously he's not in the same form as what he was when he was winning those Tour de France's.
Well, he's probably running the same numbers he did back then.
Yeah,
I'm still doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But the level's just gone up that 10% now.
But like, when he was sitting there at like 10 or 15 seconds for a 3 or 4K, I was like, he's not out of this. Like, at that point, I thought Froome's going to win this. The only thing I thought he wasn't going to, why he wouldn't win it, was because I had some belief in me that he would get back to Pidcock. Yeah. I was like, I reckon he will ride back to Pidcock. Then he's got to get rid of Pidcock. Otherwise, Pidcock's going to wrap him up in the sprint. But as it turns out, I was wrong. Yeah. And Pidcock just rode away with the stage in the end. But he is back. He may not say he's back because, where he was winning.
Well, let's talk about last year where he was. He was one of the first guys dropped on these stages. He wasn't even sniffing the front of the badge.
And 3 years ago, he was maybe never going to...
Exactly.
He wasn't going to walk without a limp, let alone ride a bike again.
And I remember going to Saitama Krita, he couldn't even walk.
Yeah.
He was just jumping around trying to get on the train with me, and he was just hobbling. So, like, it's taken him a long time to get there. But then you actually realize the resilience of this guy and how strong he is in his head.
And he will have that confidence now, because he went so close today. So now he knows, like, if I'm in the right breakaway and I play my cards right, there's no one in the world who follows cycling now, teams, riders, commentators, spectators, couch pelotons, whatever. There's no one now that can say that Froome's not good enough to win the Tour de France stage.
No, because he is. He's put the doubters aside a little bit today, and
he hasn't done it yet, but he's shown he is capable of it.
But any other person, any other rider, 160 bike riders in that Tour de France today, if they walked away with third place, wouldn't be questioned. Wouldn't be like, wouldn't be like, oh man, well, he still hasn't won a stage in the Tour. They'd be raising their hands, going, "Geez, I was third place, on a big day." So that's a good thing. Then we got Monkey, second place, solid, always just there.
Africans.
And interesting, I spoke to Robbie Hunter just before coming here, and I was saying, have you reached out to Louis, because he actually manages Louis, and I said, well, it would have been a good day for you guys if you'd won, obviously, because Rob's his agent. Obviously, Louis does better, Rob does better. Basically, I said to him, "What was the theory there?" And he said, "No." When Louis actually said, when Pidcock went the first time, he thought, if I get to him, we're just going to swap off, and he's going to beat me in the sprint. So he actually did have in his mind, because there was commentators actually touched on it, and they said, "I wonder if he's just giving him 5 seconds just to stay there." So they're both doing the same amount of work. And Louis had actually had that in his mind, going, "Okay, I'll just hold, and then hopefully he blows somewhere trying to get rid of me, and then
you can ride past him."
And then you can ride past him. He said, but then eventually, all of a sudden, that elastic just snapped, and he realized like Pidcock put the gas down and just did have better legs, you know. But also, he's also had a bit of a resurgence. Like, you know, a few years ago, he was like from coming top 10 in the tours often to like pretty much getting dropped quite early for his standards. And now he's knocking around the top 10 there, you know. He's coming around there. A few guys made a little jump today. Adam Yates made a jump today.
Yeah.
Bardet's still strong. He lost some time today, but he didn't lose too much. Enrique Mas had a better day.
He had a great day, Mas. He had a great day in the sense of how he's been the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, he was there with that. He was, with the exception of Vingegaard having Sepp Kuss in front of him.
Yeah.
He was actually there with the last 4 or 5 GC guys today.
Yeah.
And I think what Bardet did today was, when he got dropped, I thought, he's stuffed, you know, because there was still quite a few K to go.
Yeah.
But he only lost 20 seconds to G in the end, I think. So that was actually an intelligent ride from Bardet.
Yeah.
He knew his limits, and he knew not to go past them on Alpe d'Huez after 4,500 meters of climbing. So he just rode his pace, and he knew that I'm losing the wheels here, but I'm not slowing down. You know, these guys are sped up, but I'm not slowing down.
But everyone's losing the wheels now, and it's all about limiting losses for those top 10 guys.
And he was able to ride that pace to the finish line and actually not give away that much time.
Yeah.
And I think they're all doing that, you know. Eventually, you know, Yates was gone not long after Bardet, and then G, or when Pogačar attacked, and G was then riding his own pace again. But mate, there's a lot to play for. Like, I think that we've never seen Pogačar in this situation in the Tour de France where he's been so far behind.
Yeah.
But it's still not. It's not that far for Pogačar.
If anyone can win this race, still from where this is.
Oh, you remember last year he won.
But you also want to see it in the next couple of days. You want to, like, everything comes so easy to Pogačar, and this is no disrespect to him, but everything that he does, every race he goes to, he's in the leader's jersey somehow after day one, or the white jersey or whatever. And you almost feel like it just comes so easy to him.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to see him, like, crawl his way back and still win the race. Like, it would be cool. I mean, Vingegaard too, it would be cool to see him because he's never won it before. But I'm saying it would be hugely satisfying to, as a spectator, to watch it and see these guys, like, see him really fight. You don't want any, like imagine, say, COVID or whatever took him out. It would just be like, the race would be dead. So, like, it's so cool that he's still there and he's a fighter. And even today, he was had a couple digs. And like, still just trying to crack him, still just trying to mentally get a bit of a thing over him.
He'll race to the end, and like, I think my gut says I'd like Pogačar to win. Yeah. Actually, my heart says, and my gut says I want G to win, but I don't think he's going to. Yeah. But my gut says outside of that, like, I'd be cool. I would like to see Pogačar go on this. I love that dominance of Lance, and like, if we're allowed to say his name, but fuck it, I'm saying. Of
course, you're allowed to say his name. He's a good guy. I mean, he hasn't got such a good live show as us. I mean, the move. I mean, it's not as good as ours. I think. No. I think we're a little bit more current. You know, we're a little bit more. You know, we kind of understand the tactics now. You know, like a lot of the older guys have missed that.
They have.
They don't know what it's like.
They're racing different era.
Like, you know, different era. Yeah. Like nowadays, behind the neutral car, it's a fight there. It's like a sprint finish. And they don't get that because, like, even when you talk to Wadi and them and yours old team directors, they go, "But why don't you just be on the front, be on the car? Because you know the tech's going to go off the front."
The first sector of the stage is the neutral.
Yeah, okay. Well, when guys are chopping your wheel and everyone's bumping and barging and it feels like a sprint finish before the race has started, you're kind of like, "Oof, not my game," you know.
But I love that era of like their dominance. And like I said to Hannah today when we were watching it, I was like, they came onto Alpe d'Huez. And the first 500 meters, I was like, "Oh, that's where Lance attacked."
Yeah.
2001 or whatever it was.
Through their helmets.
When he put the whole team on the front, and they just like went and Lance attacked 12K to go up Alpe d'Huez.
Yeah.
Like, and
so
I kind of have this. I do kind of romanticize a little bit about Pogačar going on this dominant run for the next 5 or 6 years of the Tour de France. But at the same time, I love the position he's in now, and I love the position the race is in, because ultimately, I just want to see a hell of a race. And I didn't want to see what happened last year where Pogačar pissed off and took 4 minutes on one stage, and that was the end of the Tour de France. I want to see this go to the stage 20 time trial.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't think of anything better than having Roglic, having Vingegaard and Pogačar within 20 or 30 seconds of each other going into that stage.
Nail biter. It takes Saturday off.
I couldn't think of anything better than seeing Bardet and G
Going
going in within 40 seconds or something of each other going into the time trial, you know? Probably G would have to be 40 seconds behind Bardet to make it exciting. But you know what I mean? Like, I just want to see a good Tour de France, like
G
exciting.
I think maybe a minute 30.
Yeah.
Better. You know, well, Bardet a minute 30 in front of G because it'd be real luck. But then we haven't touched on the man of the moment today. So like Pidcock, mountain biker.
Pitters.
Who?
Pitters.
Oh, is that what you call him? I don't know him that well. So
I've never met him.
I could never.
But I've also never met Pogačar, and I walked past him at the UAE in the hallway at UAE tour, and I said, "Pog man, all good?" And then the boys were like, "Oh, how do you know him?" I don't know. Never met him in my life.
Just made that
I
name
just
up for
nickname
him.
people. Yeah.
Oh, so Pitters. All right. So Pitters did well today there. So no, but seriously. So talk about he goes over the downhill, catches them, rides across, like ride of the day.
Yeah.
Like for sure. Did a lot of work.
Descended like a demon.
He's also been fighting every day for the GC, so he's not fresh. Those guys on the breakaway have had 1 or 2 days to like click out, take it easy. He's been on the thing, white jersey, under the pump, press conference after, probably all this nonsense, dope control, all that nonsense, and then he still like makes it to first Tour de France, attacks early. Like I thought, this is real early, but just has the ability to just do everything as well.
He's a freak. There's absolutely no doubt.
Yeah,
he's a freak, but you can see he's like, again,
he works hard though. Like he actually works seriously hard.
But again, he's one of those guys who's just flipped the script or ripped the script up.
Yeah,
he's a young dude who's come in and said, "Why do I have to do it this way?
Yeah,
you know, why can't I? Why can't I?"
I think that's why we can't beat these guys these days, because we just don't know how to change the script.
There's that, and the fact there's that, and there's also the fact that like physically they're just so much better than me.
Yeah, for sure.
But
us,
and like. They're just not scared either. Like they just love it. But anyway, like
But you won't be scared if you know you can win next week, right? Like us, say you attack and you're in the moment to win a race. You actually like, I can't mess this up because like next week I'm not going to be here again. Probably. Yeah. Whereas these guys, they're so fearless. They can be fearless because
they'll get another chance.
Next week it's like, oh, it's a little hill and I can ride away, 10K to go and just solo. Oh, so they get another chance.
But he is a freak. He's someone who just goes, why can't I attack with 11K to go on Alpe d'Huez? I feel good. I'm going to do it. Why can't I try and get rid of them on downhill before that?
Do you reckon Lancaster was going like, hey, mate, just hold it back, What do you reckon he was saying?
Is he there?
It's him and
Cummings. Yeah, I like that Cummings. I like the Cummings director role. Like he's a crafty bike rider. I mean,
he's definitely not telling the guys to sit in the front. That's for sure.
That's the funny thing with he's actually like he was one of the best in the world at the breakaway and winning from breakaways.
Yeah.
But it's so funny to see him as a director when you're like, he'll be telling people, okay, your position's important. But like, Steve-O, you rode last wheel your whole career, mate.
Yeah. He's only in the front when it mattered, and when the road was clear and he could go in the breakaway.
But he's crafty, he's calm, he's collected. And I think what he would, I think that these young guys in this situation, if I was a director sitting behind Pitters today, I would have just given him the freedom to race how he wanted to race. I wouldn't have been instructing him any way or thing. I would have said, okay, like, some basic things and a little bit of experience and some pointers. But at the end of the day, you got to let those guys race naturally.
Yeah.
And like that's how they win. Like race on your instinct, mate. If you think it's the right time to go for it. And he backed himself.
Well, they'd probably be better as well.
And they
got
like,
this is my decision to go.
They just got that confidence.
Yeah.
Like it's bloody impressive.
No, I think it's we're going to have an interesting race here all the way till Paris. But I think we're going to also have sorry guys, I wish we could get your comments out. I don't know why it's not coming up, but
surely we can.
I'm not too sure. I've been trying to reach out that you guys can contact us on social media or something, but maybe you just don't have any questions for us. Maybe we touched on everything and everybody's just so like, no, it just doesn't want to do that. It says learn more. So I've got a lot to learn about this YouTube thing.
Yeah.
Oh, no, don't click on. Sam Bewley. He's just don't trust him. He's just starting to click away here.
Oh, you got to back yourself.
You back yourself. But I think we've touched on everything we needed to touch on. I think what's tomorrow's stage like? Do we know?
No.
I actually don't know. Oh, it's Bastille Day today, by the way. And while he's
Who won on Bastille Day? Who won on Bastille Day?
I had to bring this up. I had to bring it up because like only the top riders can win on Bastille Day. You know, when the pressure's on, Moncoutier,
David Moncoutier,
Daryl Impey, he's one of them. You know, when he on the French national holiday.
Tomorrow's a breakaway day.
Breakaway day.
I'd say.
Oh yeah.
A quick look.
Oh, downhill start. I have no idea why they make a downhill start.
No.
Like, it'd be interesting to know what that downhill's like.
Must be
maybe big wide roads.
Big valley or something.
Definitely, you won't be seeing the teams being able to block the road tomorrow. So it'd be like a big rush of riders going down the road. Be 40, 60 riders, and then who's there? Ride it. Keep it at a minute until you know who's there.
Just got a WhatsApp message from.
Oh, cool.
Last message I got from him was 4th of October 2016, and he's just messaged now Alex Rasmussen.
Oh, yes.
Razzie,
yeah. We used to live in Girona together with old Razzie.
He's just said, watching you and Imps chat not working, ? No, it's not.
It's not working, but you can send us a question, mate. We'll happily answer it for you.
WhatsApp it to me, Razzie.
You should tell us what he's doing.
He said, I'm looking good, you're looking old.
I am old.
I am old. Say that.
Right. Well. But yeah, I think that's probably it, eh? I think it was great to do this. We'll see if you guys how you react to this and how much you enjoyed it, and then we'll probably do another one if we can. What are we going to do on Saturday? Anyway, while you guys are watching, we're going to watch the downhill mountain bike World Cup here in Andorra.
Here in Andorra, yeah. We're going to walk the track, aren't we?
You're going to support the Kiwis. I'll support the Saffers.
We both know a few guys racing the downhill on Saturday.
So that'd be good.
Yeah, just had a young Kiwi team up here. Actually came up to my place for a swim in the river. Bunch of young under 23s and juniors who are experiencing the World Cup scene for the first time with a little setup. Tally's team. So it's nice to meet them. Yeah, Razzie reckons his first ever barbecue was with you.
Yeah, well, I know how to. That's what I don't. It's not a barbecue.
It's
a
braai.
If you guys are watching this, it's not a barbecue. People who barbecue, I mean, Aussies with gas and all that kind of stuff.
Speaking of food, I think the reason that you wanted me to do this tonight and I'll come to your place, Bills, and do it.
Come at dinner time,
because you want dinner, don't you?
Well, exactly. I came here solo for the first few days, and my family's coming up on the weekend. But you know, to like cook a meal for one person, then you just got to like hang on your mates a bit. So
you can tell you haven't been a bachelor for a long time, mate. Cook a meal for one person, mate. How do you think I survived most of my life? I
didn't even know what to bring yesterday because normally I have people around in my place. I never get invited out.
I'm not a bachelor anymore. I got my girlfriend there looking at me like I'm an idiot saying that. But hey, no, I cooked the lasagna for him last night.
Went well today on the bike, eh?
Went well today. Yeah, I had a shocker.
We had a good 4 hours together today in the Andorran Mountains, 2,000 something meters climbing.
Little pasta tonight for you. 5 hours tomorrow.
All right. Well, guys, let us know what you think. Let us know if you're happy if we covered everything. And also, don't forget you can buy some merch from this guy, the Social Distance Podcast. While we're on here, just plugging a few things.
If any of you, I can see how many people are listening to the show, watching the show. I don't mean to point, it's rude. But I can see how many people are watching the show. If there's any of you that don't listen to the Social Distance Podcast featuring myself, George Bennett, and Dan Jones, you should be.
Yes.
You can find us on social media, and we've got merch for sale. We're selling T-shirts, Great Rider Shit Bloke, or Shit Rider Great Bloke T-shirts. We've got hats as well. We've got it all. So, I'm here. We share the love.
Yeah,
we share the love. There's no competition between our channels. We just want to promote and grow.
I also want to promote a little bit, so
make sure you get across to the Social Distance Podcast, guys.
Cool. So there you have it.
YouTube or audio.
Apparently the shipping's bloody expensive there.
Shipping's expensive.
Shipping's expensive because it's from Oz. But guys, let me tell you, when you put that hat on, $1 million, you feel like it's worth that $20.
And don't, if you just disregard the shipping, you're still paying the same price for the T-shirt. The shipping's different.
Exactly. Just when you buy an Apple phone, you don't see the shipping costs in there.
It's supply and demand. There's supply and demand issues all around the world at the moment. It's a cost of crisis. What is it called? Cost of living crisis. What do you expect? We can't do anything about it, but you won't regret wearing these T-shirts. I tell you right now, they will bring you joy, happiness, and
success,
and a smaller bank account. But anyway.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Whatever time. Be lekker.
Like, share, subscribe.
See you guys soon. See you. Oh, your stream will stop. End.